The Warriors opened up the Western Conference Finals last night against the Blazers without Kevin Durant, but they didn't seem to miss him. They still have Steph Curry, and he went off. Steph scored 36 points, including 9 threes, and his fellow Splash brother Klay Thompson had a big game with 26. The Warriors blew out the Blazers, and after the game, Terry Stotts was asked about the lack of defense on Steph, and he got a little testy. Take a listen.
Houston had some success, trapping Steph and really getting out on him. Is this sustainable for you guys to keep dropping the big so far?
Did they, I can't remember, when he had 33 in the second half, were they trapping then?
Yes.
They were? And he scored 33 in the second half?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll look at that.
We'll look at that. We'll address it.
Touche.
Shannon, what did you learn from game one?
Nothing I didn't already know.
Yeah.
What I didn't already know, that this was a great team before KD got there. KD makes them virtually unbeatable in a 7-game series. Can someone beat them in one game? Yeah. They lost, what, Skip, 7, 8 games at home this year by at least 20 points. That's one time. But to beat this team, you have to beat them 4 times over the course of 2 weeks. And what makes me so upset, and I think this is what gets in the crawl of Steph Curry and Draymond and Klay, they make it seem as if that KD joined a team that had won 40 games the year before, and he put them over the top. No, this team had already gone to 2 NBA Finals. They had won 1. The year KD joined them, they had just come off a 73-9 season. Steph Curry was a unanimous MVP in which he was a 50, 40, 90. He shot 50% from the field, 40% from the 3, and 90% from the free throw line. He averaged 30 points a game. KD joined that. So KD made them unbeatable. And Skip, it's like it was like Golden State was here, and the rest of the league, Cleveland, everybody else was right there. KD joined. This is what he did. You see how the gap opened up? And that's what happened. You can be the second fastest man in the world when Usain Bolt was in his prime. But he was so far ahead of you. The second best teams, they're good teams. Don't take anything, don't discount them. But Kevin Durant makes them unbeatable. But this is what we do know. This is not conjecture. This is not innuendo. This is not speculation. In the last 29 games in which Steph Curry has played and Kevin Durant has not, they're 28-1. That's
interesting.
Fact.
Yep.
Now, all I need, somebody keeps telling me in my ear, and every chance he gets, sometimes, Jenny, he'll stop by, stick his head in the door. KD, the best player in the world. I like, whoa, get out of my room.
Fiction.
Yeah,
Total fiction.
Stick your head in the door.
Never has happened one time.
Stick your head in the door.
I've seen that happen.
Absolute fiction.
So I'm just I want someone to help me understand. I'm not so sure in 16 years in games in which LeBron James hasn't played, if his teams have won 28 total games without him on the court. But as the best player in the world and your team goes 28-1, it just goes to show you the firepower and the repertoire that they do have. And so in order to beat this team, you best be on your best behavior. And the Blazers were not. Dame, CJ played terrible. Skip, they had 4 turnovers in Sunday, game 7. Dame had 7 by himself, 21 total turnovers. They made 11 combined field goals. Unless both of these guys play well, they're going to get swept. Because the Warriors can one of their guys can have an off when you got KD, because then KD will go get you 50. Or Steph and KD can be off, and Klay can go get you 40. But in this situation, Blazers, if you want to have a chance, your 2 best players must play well, and then you get that 3rd guy. Rodney Hood chipped in, gave him some bench points. That's what they're going to need. But I didn't learn anything because I already knew Golden State was a great team, and they're out to prove it.
Again, I got to get a new TV, but I learned a lot from last night. I learned one key takeaway, and that is that the Portland Trail Blazers have only one hope, one chance, and only one, and that is if Kevin Durant returns. That's their only hope.
What?
And again, it is insane for me to say on paper Golden State is better without the best player on the planet, because he is clearly the best player on the planet. And we got to have a new rule on the show. We cannot bring up the guy who's no longer in the play. Didn't even make the playoffs.
I didn't say anything about him.
The best player on the planet is hurt right now, and it was the best thing that could have ever happened to this Golden State team, because I'm not talking about on paper. I'm talking about on the court in real life. Everything has changed. When he went out, this team flipped the 73-9 switch that they desperately needed to flip. And that is, the ball is moving. Last night, it's moving with this crazy electric beauty that we haven't seen since 73-9, right?
Yep.
There is no more Kevin Durant, dribble, 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 clear one side of the floor, ISO KD, right? Did you see any of that last night? No, you couldn't, because he didn't play. And what did we see? We saw Steph and Klay running like banshees off screen after screen after screen after screen after screen, getting open shot after shot. They've got green lights again for the first time since Draymond called KD and said, please come and save us,
yes,
right?
Yes.
And Kevin Durant did save them in 2 straight finals. He was the finals MVP. But this team clearly got sick and tired of hearing that it was only going to go as far as Kevin Durant would carry them,
I
right?
would agree.
Yeah.
This team got sick and tired of hearing that Kevin Durant is going to leave them for dead next year. That's how it came across. And all of a sudden, unbeknownst to just fate, it's the injury gods intervened. Kevin Durant pulls his calf muscle, and he's gone for X number of games, and all of a sudden they said, watch this. They are playing with urgency and energy I haven't seen all year long from them, especially at home. And they came out from the opening tip. They bullied the Portland Trail Blazers last night. I tweeted 2 minutes into the game, Portland looks scared, like the stage is just way too big, even for those 2, quote-unquote, stars in the backcourt. They shrank last night.
Tired, Skip.
They were tired.
They were not tired.
Game 7?
They had 21 turnovers last night. That's eyesore, horrendously bad.
Yes.
And the point was, I watched them. They were slow and they were soft last night. I started calling them on Twitter, they're the snail blazers. And then after a while, it dawned on me, no, they're the frail blazers. They're the snail blazers and the frail blazers, because they are just getting beat up and bullied by the front-running, globe-trotting Steph and Klay. and it was embarrassing to me that those 2, quote-unquote, stars for the other team, once again, we're seeing poor men's James Harden's, because neither Dame or CJ has ever been great in the postseason. Too often, they have shrunk. Too often, they have disappeared in the postseason. They had one great, again, the breakout series for Damian Lillard was against Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, okay.
Somehow, Russell pushed his button, and he just rose and shone above him, and he waved him goodbye. Right. Where was goodbye last night? It may have been to Portland. He could have been waving bye to himself, right?
He played well against the Nuggets. But to your point,
did he? Did you see Game 7?
No.
Where was Damian in Game 7? That's Game 7.
But Game 6.
Okay.
Because in order to get to a Game 7, he had 32. CJ had 30.
Okay.
So in order to get to a Game 7,
if CJ had not happened in Game 7, what would we be watching? We'd be watching the Denver Nuggets right now, right? But CJ, too often in the postseason, as great as he can be from game to game in the regular season, CJ stands for can't justify in the postseason. CJ can't justify, right? Because he's just not that guy. I'm not sure either one of these guys.
You're feeling good. You're feeling good today.
I'm just telling you what I saw last night. It was stunning to my eye, and I'm not going to give them tired. I've seen teams come out of a hard-fought series. They're on fire, just their momentum, while the other team has a little rust going on.
But we've never seen another team that has so much to prove.
We have not. They ran into that buzzsaw last night.
And Skip, sometimes you like what's happened. I look at Steph as a great white. He's got this taste of blood in his mouth now. The second half.
He doesn't look like a great white.
Yeah, he doesn't. But that's when you look at a great white, he's just swimming around. He's just so and the next thing
you can't see his teeth.
Yeah. But now he's got that taste. It's like, okay, you know what? I'm a bum. That's what y'all, not that, but y'all don't think I'm any good. Y'all forget I'm the last guy in the NBA that won back-to-back MVPs. I'm that guy. So you know what? Y'all keep on bumping them, talking about KD this and KD that, and KD is historically great. But they forget about that little guy right there, because he giving it to folks right now. But let me tell you something, Terry Stotts. Ennis Canner, I don't know if you noticed this, but when Kevon Looney sprints to the top of the key at the three-point line, he's not doing that to roll to the basket so Steph can dump it down to him. he's going to pick the guy that's guarding Steph so Steph can launch a 28-foot three-point shot.
Yep.
So you can stand up under the basket and get it out the net if you like.
Okay.
But if it was me, I'm going to meet him at that point to contest that.
Do you remember what Billy Donovan was seen to be mouthing on the bench one night in Oklahoma City when Cantor played for the Thunder? Yeah. I can't play Cantor because he doesn't defend.
Right.
I think he's defended at a much higher level this year for Portland than I've ever seen him. But when you ask him to go do that, I don't know.
He's going to have to, Skip, because that's all Kevon Looney and Bogut are doing.
To Terry Stott's point, is if you don't fight through picks and try to get physical and try to rough up Steph and rough up Klay a little bit, they're just going to green light, start shooting it and stroking it. And again, do you realize what happened in the fourth quarter last night? Because I'm going to remind everybody, despite 18 turnovers for Portland through the first three quarters, that's a lot of turnovers. What was the score after three quarters? They're 6 points down. So it's still a basketball game at that point. What's the score of the fourth quarter? It's 39-23. And what happened? Well, Dame and CJ did not happen because Dame took 2 shots and CJ took 1 shot in the fourth. You can't do that. If you're those 2 guys, this is on a platter for you to say, okay, here we go. Watch this.
And the biggest thing, Skip, about these 2 guys is that you got to make those guys work. Early on, Eric Gordon and those guys were making Steph Curry work.
I agree.
Well, if you don't make him work and you let him have his legs, well, this is what he's going to do to you.
Okay, and yet, if you look at the box score, I got it right here, what happened for Golden State in the fourth quarter as they ran away 39-23? Steph didn't happen. He scored a grand total of 3 points in the fourth quarter. Klay happened.
Yes.
Klay made 4 out of 5 shots and 2 threes, and it went boom, 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 gone.
He can heat up. And that's what makes them so, Skip. And the thing is, you see a guy, like somebody get a rebound, and Klay and Steph are sprinting to the three-point line. And the guys are looking to get picks. So you better anticipate that pick is coming, fight over it. Cantor, your bigs, Aminu, if you think those guys are going to the top so they can roll to the basket and dunk it or lay it in, they're not. They're sitting picks for those marksmen. You better get out there or you're going to take it out the net. That's your option.
I'm with you. It's starting to smell sweepish to me.
Well, that's the fear, right?
I know.
It didn't look
that felt sweepish.
In this series with no KD. And KD, if things are going well, they might rest KD as long as they possibly can.
Hey, if it keeps going like this, if I'm Steve Kerr, I'm saying, hey, big fella, just cool out. Take your time.
They got no chance if CJ and Dame can't offset their backcourt. They can't beat.
Okay, but look, if they announce today, oh, Kevin's okay, he's going to come back for game 2, you don't think that'll gum up the works a little bit? You're going to have to readjust how you play basketball. All of a sudden, it would give Portland a chance just on the new chemistry that you have to re-achieve.
If Golden State goes up 2-0, I believe the earliest you'd see Kevin Durant is game 4.
Really?
That's the earliest. If they go up 2-0, the earliest I believe you'll see Kevin Durant is game 4.
When it's 3-0?
Well, it might be 2-1.
Okay.
But I'm saying I don't see them play. I don't see him playing before then. Skip, you don't want to aggravate it and have it flare back up. You give him an extra game. You give him an extra 24, 48 hours if you can. So if they go up 2-0, Kevin Durant's not. I don't believe Kevin Durant will be back before game 4.
I don't think they were going to reevaluate him until Thursday. So at this point, the Blazers need some rest. I know you said they didn't look tired, Skip, but they need to put their feet up. No waving
that's
yet.
one game.
I just didn't like what I saw. I saw snail blazers.
You remember the Memorial Day Massacre?
A different
148, 114.
But that's where after a quarter, so you just say, okay, next.
They need a little rest today before game 2 tomorrow back in Oakland. No rest tonight, but